Okay, my dear student, our topic for today is the simple present in interrogative and negative form. Remember that in the previous class we worked with this tense in affirmative form. Our topic for today is negative and interrogative form. Okay, this is the auxiliary in this tense. We have two auxiliaries, do and does. If you look the example, do, you use do when do you have these subjects, I, you, we, or they, and does in third person, he, she, it. It is an example in negative form. The student do not study at school today. You can use long form, do not, or you can use short form, don't. The student don't study at school today. Okay, this is the negative form. Another example is Peter does not work on Saturdays, or Peter doesn't work on Saturdays. Pay attention with the example. In the first sentences, you use do not or don't because look at this. The student belongs to they. For this reason, the auxiliary is do. And Peter is the third person, he. For this reason, the auxiliary is that. Okay, Peter does not or doesn't work on Saturdays. Look at the grammar structure. First, you have the subject. Next, the auxiliary, does or does. Next, the negative form, not. Next, the verb. And finally, the complement. This is interrogative form. Pay attention, when do you use interrogative form, the first thing that do you use is the auxiliary. In this case, does my sister eat pizza? What is the auxiliary? Does, because the subject is third person, she, my sister, eat pizza? The structure or the grammar structure is auxiliary, do or does. Next, the subject, my sister. Next, the verb, eat. And finally, the complement, pizza. Does my sister eat pizza? This is the grammar structure, and this is the answer. Yes, she does, it is affirmative, or no, she doesn't, it is negative. The other example, do you sleep in the afternoons? Look at the example. First, the auxiliary, next, the subject, next, the verb, sleep, and next, the complement, the afternoon. Okay? In this case, you use the auxiliary do because the subject is you. In the first example is my sister, the auxiliary is does because it is third person. The answer in this case, no I don't and yes I do. What are the common mistakes? Pay attention with this. She doesn't like romantic movies. Pay attention, when do you use the does auxiliary, the verb is not necessary that you put s in the end of the verb in third person. Remember that in affirmative form, when you use third person, you put s or ies or only s in the end of the verb according to the spelling rules. In this case, it's not necessary. When do you use the does or doesn't, don't use s in the end of the verb. Look at the correct form. She doesn't like romantic movie. Another example, another common mistake. They are live in Bogota. Pay attention with this. Look at this. Don't use to be in this tense. Please. It's important. Never, never when do you talk in simple present use to be. To be is another verb. They are live in Bogota. Not. They live in Bogota. Don't use to be. Pay attention. Now I'm going to explain the WH question in this tense, simple present. It's an example. Where do you live? Look at the grammar structure. WH, the first. Next, the auxiliary, do or does, according to the subject. Next, the subject. And in the end, you have the verb. If you need a complement, you put the complement next to the verb. Okay? Where do you live? Another example. What does she study? WH question, look at the example, auxiliary, in this case, does, subject, she, and the verb is study. As said in the previous example, when you have does, it's not necessary you put the verb is or ies or something like this, because does is not necessary. The verb is normal in this way, okay? And she studies English. In the answer, it is necessary. Why? Because the answer is an affirmative form. It's an affirmative sentences. For the reason, if you have third person, look at this she. It is necessary in the answer you put IES in this case because the verb finish in Y, or S, or only ES according to the spelling rule that I explained in the previous class. Answer is in affirmative form. All of this is in WH question using simple present tense in affirmative and negative form. Okay. Next to this explanation, I'm going to explain the activity. Remember that in the previous class, you made a list of sentences in simple tense in affirmative form. I post the test and you write the sentences in affirmative form using simple present. What is the activity for this time? Please, all of these sentences that you have in the previous class in affirmative form, you put in negative and in interrogative form. And you write this and post, please, in the wall of the class. Don't send to me private message, please, in the wall of the class. All of these sentences that in the previous activity do you have, or you have, in this case, please write in negative and interrogative form with short question. And add to this, please add to this WH question. What that do you want? Where, why, when? I don't know, but using affirmative form with the belonging answer, okay? This is the activity, remember. All of these sentences to the previous class in affirmative form, you put these sentences in interrogative and negative form and include or add an WH question with the answer, okay? Pay attention. If you have any doubt about this topic, please write me, type into me, and I'm going to check your activity, okay? Bye bye. See you in the next class.